Hello everybody, it's Sabrina Fritts. As you recall, I was living that very typical life, one full of stress, anxiety. I had the career in human resources, the family to take care of, type A control freak. And I made that statement, there has to be something more to life than this. Well, then the rollover accident occurred with my two daughters in my car, which was truly my wake-up call. It got my attention very quickly. Life was never the same after that, and I received the recommendation to have my reconnection. Now, I had never heard of the reconnection before, so I went home and Googled, found that they have these seminars. They teach people all over the world how to become practitioners, and I found a practitioner near me. I read the book, and I signed up for my 2-day reconnection. My husband thought I had lost my mind. He really wanted to know what happened in that car accident. And he looked at, he's like, who are you? You're paying $333 and you're not even getting a massage. They're not touching you at all. And I said, I don't know who I am. That's why I'm having this. I need to know, who am I? And I can't explain it. All I know is that it's for me and it's for my life path, and it just makes sense. And so he didn't stop me, and the money came so easily, as it always does when it's something that's meant for you. And I went in for my reconnection, which was a very profound experience. I felt unconditional love for the first time in my life, and I had a knowingness, an absolute knowingness, that I was fully supported and loved. And that was amazing for me because, I'm being that control person, not feeling too supported most of the time because of it, obviously. And so this was really important to me. And shortly after the reconnection, I started noticing changes and shifts that were happening in my life. And one of the things was I didn't feel as stressed out as I normally did. I wasn't trying to control everything. I was letting things kind of roll off my back, so to speak. I was finding a lot more joy and ease in life. I started manifesting things like crazy, which included things still that I didn't want to manifest any longer or experience, which then led me to the teachings of Abraham and helped me immensely with that. And those are a whole other series of teachings I can give you, and they'll come at a later date, I'm sure. My intuition was becoming much more heightened. I wasn't dismissing things as my sheer imagination, and I was actually paying attention. But there was a message coming in that I wasn't paying attention to, and that was the fact that I was supposed to go to one of those seminars, the one in Denver, and learn how to do that work, to wave my hands over people. And I thought, thank you very much. No, I am sane. I have a career. I'm successful. I don't need to learn to go wave my hands over people. Now, who's going to take me seriously? Who? But as we know, when there's something that's really meant for you to do, the universe finds a way to get your attention, so you can't deny it. And the message came through a friend of mine in another state, and she wouldn't let me off the hook. And my no time, no money excuse, she threw right out the window, paid half my tuition, paid my oldest to babysit my youngest, and I find myself signing up for a 2.5-day seminar the day before, which is completely unheard of for this control freak. But I grabbed my best friend and I made her come with me because I was scared. But we're in this seminar, and I tell you, it was powerful. There's nothing quite like it. I could feel the connection between something, myself and the person on that table, and healings were happening, and it changed my life. And immediately I found myself just wanting to wave my hands over people, and if they could fog a mirror, I wanted them to lay on a massage table. And I went back and forth and back and forth. Am I a human resources manager, or am I a healer? Am I a human resources manager, or am I a healer? And somebody gave me this brilliant advice: give yourself permission to do both, which was fascinating considering I already was doing both. I was doing healing sessions on the weekends, working during the week. But giving myself permission allowed me to release the resistance, to line up to my manifestation and my heart's desire. And the invitation came to leave my career in human resources the day I was in the office. And I say the day I was in the office because I, of course, had manifested a work from home schedule. I was working on top of my mountain 4 days a week with the family and nature and my animals and everything I love in the world, while receiving a really decent salary and benefits. And I only had to go into the office 1 day a week, so it was really the best of both worlds. When I'm in the office that day, my boss called me in and wanted me to know that the chief executive officer, the CEO, wanted me back in to the office full time. That I was a bad influence for the other employees. Basically, they wanted what I had, and I was like, but why can't they have what I have? You know, here I am, human resources manager in the civil engineering land surveying firm, pretty inside the box, as you can imagine, mostly male dominated, and I'm implementing wellness programs and employee assistance programs, and I'm bringing in chiropractors to educate employees about alternatives for their health care. I'm making a change. I'm looking at implementing a work from home schedule and flex time so that because I saw the vision, I knew the vision of corporate America. The structure was going to have to change. We could no longer operate under greed and fear and competition. Those things they won't exist in the new world. They just won't. And although that organization wasn't ready, that was okay. There will be organizations that will be ready soon, and I hope so. That's a whole nother series of teaching videos. Gosh, I'm going to be a busy girl here. So that day when she told me I needed to be in the office full time, I knew that was my invitation to leave, because my heart, I didn't want to commute an hour each way. That was crazy. And so I looked her in the eye and told her, it's time for you to hire my replacement. She was shocked. She could not believe I was giving my resignation. And I said, no, you don't understand. This is my creation. I just didn't know how it was going to look. And this is a win-win situation. This way, my replacement comes in, I get them fully trained, you guys are taken care of, and then I go do the things that my heart's calling me to do. I want to be a healing practitioner. I want to be on my mountaintop with my family. Those are the things that are important to me. Wow, so good thing after I left the office that day and I called my husband, told him they wanted me in the office full time. He knew right away that I didn't want that, and he made that statement. And so it made the fact that I already quit really convenient, that he was giving me permission to do so. But he wanted me to take over the management of his tattoo studio so he could concentrate on his art, and that was great because that's something I could do from home with my eyes closed and still be able to develop my practice. So it took 3 months to transition out of that career, and I can remember being at the farewell luncheon, and we're at this really nice Italian restaurant in this big banquet room with all these big tables around, surrounded by management and engineers and everything. All of a sudden, while we're eating, enjoying conversation with those next to us, my boss looks at me and from across the room, and she said, Sabrina, please tell them what it is you're going to go do. Oh, and in that moment where I paused and thought about all my possible responses, like if I were to state that I'm going to become this healing practitioner and really devote my life to healing, I was pretty certain of the look that I was going to get from the majority of the people in that room, which felt pretty uncomfortable. And so I just blurted out the first thing that came from me, and it was, I'm going to go play and have fun. Well, they looked at me just as equally as strangely as I had expected. But that's exactly what I did. I went and I began to play and have fun in life. I'm spending more time in nature. I'm having fun with my daughter, enjoying my home. And I started to notice that the large paid time off bank that I had been paid out was starting to get a little bit smaller in my bank account. So I started to worry a little bit. And I had a friend who gave me great advice that stated, you need to give yourself permission to be lazy. And I'm like, permission to be lazy? She said, yes. And I said, that made sense because I was always a doer. I was always told and taught the Puritan work ethic. We're going to have to work hard. for everything you get. You know, nothing in life is easy. Life isn't fair. And all those things that I was programmed with. And, you know, so being lazy wasn't anything I had ever experienced before. But I gave myself permission, and I found that I was taking naps during the day. And I was leaving some dirty dishes in the sink, you know, like all night. All night. And walking more in nature and just really enjoying the small things, just not having to clean the house and take care of all those responsibilities. But one of the things that my heart had wanted to do when we opened up my husband's business was to create a client database. And so I created that database after I left my job. And as I'm connecting with all those people that have come into the studio and the recommendations, you know, from their mother or from their son, and I'm feeling really good about the business and all the people that have come in and received great artwork, and I've started to notice that our bank account balance is getting higher and higher, and his business tripled that year. Tripled. Wow, that just completely blew away all the programming that I had about exchanging time for dollars. That was amazing for me. That was huge. That is something I didn't expect. I just didn't expect. And so it was wonderful that I was able to devote my life to helping others without the pressure of the financial obligation to it. And so life was getting much better, a lot more fun, a lot more playful, and I was really starting to step in to my authentic self. After leaving my career in human resources, my heart started calling me in the direction of advancing as a practitioner. It made sense then that I became a practitioner mentor and a teaching assistant. With the reconnection, I traveled to different places around the world, going to healing seminars, teaching people how to access these frequencies and share it with others. And it was because of the changes that I experienced in my life and the lives of my family members and my clients. It's amazing work. I have such deep love and appreciation for this work, because honestly I can't imagine how my life would be in the place that it is today without it. And so with that deep love and appreciation, I was able to stay within the organization as long as I did. I actually advanced as a practitioner, an associate instructor, one of just a handful, a couple dozen people in the world. And the work called me for a very, very long time. But I found that it wasn't aligned with my personal integrity. That vision that I have of corporations living in a place with no greed or fear or competition, expressing light and knowingness that all needs are met and providing abundance for everyone associated within that organization, bringing in healing frequencies, flexible schedules, all the things that can help increase morale and productivity and creativity while reducing stress and health insurance claims and all of those things that plague corporate America today. And I found that the organization within the reconnection, as I was providing consulting, professional consulting services in administration and human resources, wasn't ready to let go of that old paradigm of competition, fear, and greed. I had to make a really difficult decision, as I had learned that in 2011, if something is not authentic, it will fall away. And it was just simply time for me to resign as an associate instructor with that organization and no longer support the work under that brand and leadership, but the knowingness in my heart that this work will continue to grow and expand and get out there in the world. And there's an easier, gentler way, and it will find its way.